Hello everybody and welcome back to Farm Sim 25 and welcome back to our Take Over the Map challenge here on Survival 4X. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight I have some terrible news. Terrible news! As you may have noticed in the last episode, which by the way I didn't notice until it was basically over, but we have a problem. And by problem, I mean we have lost an entire crop of onions. Look at this! Look at this field! What in the f is wrong with this field? My entire crop is gone. It's just dead. Withered. Look at them all. The onions are just dead. I don't know why. Like, it's time to harvest them. Now, technically, it was time to harvest them last month, too, but we're still within the window of harvest for the onions. Like, clearly. Like, you go down here to onions, you can see we planted in March. They should have been ready in August, which they weren't, because we just were in August, and they weren't green then either. And then they're also withered. This, like, we should have been able to harvest them. And they were withered last month, too, if you go back and watch or look at the footage. So, I don't know what happened. The only thing I can think of is a disease called the white rot. If you guys have ever heard of the white rot, it is a disease that only affects onions, apparently. And it's one of those things, it's actually from a fungus. Yeah, a fungus is among us. It's not pretty, y'all. Apparently, it only affects onions or other potential, like, root crops. But basically what it does is it just destroys it. The fungus gets in there and it destroys the field. And this is why, in real life, apparently, you want to have like a 7-year crop rotation for onions. I didn't know this. I've never grown onions in my life, right? So I had no idea. But apparently, like, you only want to plant onions in a field like once every 7 years, 7 or 8 years, to avoid this exact scenario. I didn't know that. And it bit me in the buttocks real bad. Yeah, this is a catastrophe. I've never had this happen, ever. I've never seen an entire field just wither and die before it's ready to, like, before it was ready to harvest. Like, what caused this? That's the big question. I mean, you can clearly see there were onions growing, right? You can see them folded over and dead. I don't know if I can zoom in or anything, but you can see, like, the onions are, like, sticking out the soil a little bit, which means they got to a decently mature state before they all withered. But I'm perplexed. And at this point, I'm terrified as to whether I should plant onions here again. Like, if I plant onions again, are they just going to wither and die? These are the questions. This is something I've never dealt with. Also, look how nice these sunflowers are looking. All pointing towards the sun. Look at them. It's pretty, isn't it? There's something about sunflowers. I don't know what it is. They're just so different from other flowers. I think it's their size. I think it's the size of a sunflower. Not only are they nice and warm looking, like a sun, but they're just so big compared to other, like, flowers. But yeah, I like these things. They look so good in this game too, by the way. Like, they just do. Look at how tall these things are, by the way. Let me zoom out a little bit. Look. They're massive. But yeah, I am scared. I ain't gonna lie. If I plant onions here again and they fail, we will never plant onions again. I will promise you that. Which means our dream of an onion ring empire is crashing down around us. But at least we didn't go ahead and build the facility to make onion rings, so there's that. We have an oil mill, we have a grain mill, but we do not have anything else. Well, actually, while we're here, I believe we do have enough money to go ahead and build up our cow pasture. So we're going to head up this direction, and we're going to get ready to do that. We have $522,000 in the bank, so that should be plenty in order to build up our fences and stuff. We're gonna head up here and get ready to get our cattle pasture and building set up. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to have our worker in the Massey Ferguson jump in the Kinsey planter and start planting our wheat while we're working on this cow pasture. Because I want to spend some time actually doing this and making it look pretty. So we're going to go ahead and shut her down right here. We're going to teleport back to the farm real quick. We're going to jump into Massey Ferguson, which I think is in the shop. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, we did repair this in the last episode, so it should be good to go. We're going to fill it up with fuel. And then we will get this thing planting wheat in the small field. And then we're going to go grab the Kinsey and have it plant wheat over there. I got my eyes on you. I know you guys better not be fooling around in there. But you guys will have to let me know if you guys have had any of the same issues. Like I said, I've never grown onions in this game until now. And we got one harvest, and the second time we planted, they all withered. So I don't know what to say. We do need to change this to wheat, though. I was going to say, wheat has to be here somewhere. Alright. We'll take this over here. And we'll let the AI start working on that. And while it's working on that, we are actually going to jump in the... case. Alright. So you are good to go. And then we will jump in the case, hook the case up to the big seeder, and have the big seeder working on planting the wheat in the big field. Whoa. Okay, about enough of that. Also, I have some other information that maybe y'all didn't know about because it happened off screen. But we had our first fire on the series. Fortunately, it happened in the middle of the rain. I guess a lightning struck the field, but it had a little bit of a smolder, and then it was out. Didn't actually do anything. And the field was already harvested because it was our wheat field that we're about to plant again. So, yeah, pretty crazy there. Alright, now we got our seed train going. Ah, crap. Is this on the wrong side? I think it is. If we open the cover, it is absolutely on the wrong side. We're going to have to turn around. This thing is so big, it's ridiculous. Look at this thing. Wait, is that tearing up my... Okay, it looked like it was tearing up my field for a second. I was like, man, I'm an idiot. Just costing myself money everywhere. Everywhere I go. Alright, start filling. We got seeds. Go ahead and put some seeds in there. And we'll put some solid fertilizer in there as well. Open the next cover. Put some fertilizer in. Now, the one thing I didn't look at is whether or not we needed to lime our wheat fields. I feel like we're getting close to needing to lime all of our fields. I know once we get the soybeans and corn harvested this year, which is next month, we will need to lime those fields. But I didn't actually look at pH. Okay, so the wheat fields are fine. The wheat fields are actually fine. All right, let's go ahead and close the cover. We'll get this thing heading over to do some planting or some seed drilling for our wheat. Now, I have no idea if the AI is going to be able to use this thing properly. So, only time will tell. But, we're going to try it anyway. This thing is massive, so I have no idea if the AI is going to actually be able to pull this off without getting all hung up and stuff. But it's got a 30.5-meter working width, and we are going to have a 2 headlands run. Work direction, if we go this way. Let's go 90. There you go. I feel like that's probably the best way to do this. And then let them go. And then we're just going to assume that that's going to work perfectly. Meanwhile, we are actually going to do some work up here. So, I have a plan. I have a thought. And it may be a bad one, but I'm going to try it anyway. I don't know whether or not we can do this, but I'm going to try it. So, we've got this area, oh goodness, right here where we're planning on putting our cow pasture, right? Like somewhere in this area right here. It's actually pretty decently flat, mostly. So, won't be much terraforming needed up here. But I am going to do a little bit of terraforming because I want to put a pond right about here. A nice little pond for the cows. So, let's go ahead and do that. We are actually going to come over here. I'm looking at the terrain, I'm thinking probably something like right here. We're going to go ahead and lower the ground. And then we are going to go to level. We're going to try to stick it in there. Sounds terrible. But if we can just level that out a little bit, then what we'll do is we are going to expand this a little bit to make it a little bit quicker. There we go. And what I'm thinking is we take this pond and we kind of run it over this way a little bit. I feel like I screwed that one up. It's all right. We'll get it. I just got to figure it out. Everything in due time. All right. Let's go a little bigger. A little bigger. Now we're dropping frames because of it. All right. How's this look? Yeah, so right now we've got this area over here that we're going to have to build like a man-made like dam. That's fine. Basically, all we're doing is moving dirt, right? All right, I feel like that is about the size of the pond that I'm looking for. So now we just got to take and raise this up on the back side so that we have a obviously man-made dam. So let's take about this level, and we're just going to level this off, or sorry, take this level, and we want to bring this down here. Now this always gets to be a little bit odd initially, but just give it time. It'll get okay. Just takes time. I don't know why I'm doing this by hand or by controller. Like I feel like this would be a little bit easier to do by mouse and keyboard here. But basically, we're just building this dam along the back side of the pond. Dadgummit, I hate that, man. Why does it do that? And then we just want to blend it in kind of over there. All right. This will go away as we smooth it, but that's kind of what I'm thinking right there. Now, obviously, anytime you build a pond like this, you're going to want to go a little bigger than you expect. Let's bring up the terrain a little bit here. Try to bring up the floor of the pond a little bit right there. Don't want it to be too crazy. But we want to come right back over here. And we want to make this a little wider than you'd expect. Because what we're doing is we're going to need to soften this later. And you want to give yourself plenty of room. Because when you soften, it removes a lot more than you'd expect. So we're just going to keep this going right along the back side of this pond. And then blend it in right like that. All right, so I feel like this is pretty good. I don't want it to be too deep because I don't want my my cows to end up getting like stuck or drowning or anything like that. So that should be a decent little like watering hole. And then we are going to take the soften tool and try to soften things up a little bit. So we're just going to come over like this. We just kind of want to touch the edges without going too crazy. Especially soften that. There we go. And then this side, just bring it down a little bit. Soften the edge. Beautiful. And like I said, this is obviously going to be a man-made pond. Like, nobody's going to look at this and be like, oh, that's natural, right? But it'll be great for our cows to have a little bit of a watering hole, especially during the hot summers. So I feel like there's a little bit more of a touch there, maybe. And then this is going to be a little bit of a sharper edge, which is fine. But maybe we feather that just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just to kind of just feather it a little bit. All right. And now that we've got our watering hole in, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and paint the bottom with mud. So we're going to go down through here. We're going to find our mud. Beautiful. Let's switch that to there. And then we're going to have this reach all the way around so that we have some mud. All right. Beautiful. All right, so now all we need to do is go up here to decorations and find our water. Okay, apparently it's not in decorations. Maybe it's in the next one over. There it is. All right, so let's start with this and see how big it is, because yeah, so that's too small. I think that's the biggest round pond. So we're actually going to want one of these. This is 80 by 80. Yeah, this is the problem with being on the side of a hill. So this is actually too big. I wish this was bigger, man. 50 meters is just a little too small for what I'm looking for. You can see, like, I just need it a little bit bigger. And this 80 meters would be roughly the right size, but we may have to adjust. Actually, I can potentially do it that way. We bring this around, rotate it so that the majority of it goes under. So this is what you have to deal with when you try to make like ponds and stuff in this game. Alright, I feel like that's about as good as we're going to get that. So let's just put that in. Now, you'll see that the texture sticks out here. We just got to use the terrain to hide that, right? So what we're going to do is we are actually going to use our leveling tool again. We're going to grab the top of this. And we're going to pull it over. And we're going to hide this water plane with terrain. And again, the way I see this, we're not going to have to pay for this dirt just simply due to the fact that we removed a lot of dirt from the area where we dug the pond. So we're just using the dirt that we dug out of the pond for the cofferdam, right? All right, same thing over here. We want to grab about here. And we want this to hide the water plane. And then we'll just make it bigger. Now I know this doesn't look the best right now, but we can mold it. We just gotta give ourselves a chance. And again, the main thing is anytime you're doing anything like this where you're hiding something, you want to go further beyond where you actually need it. Because as soon as you try to smooth it, you're going to uncover what it is you're trying to hide. Alright. Feel like that's fine. Now, again, we're going to pull out our smoother, or softener, whatever you want to call it. And we're just going to bring this, we want a wide one to start with, and we just kind of want to bring this like that, right? The main thing is to soften the edge that's on the hillside. Because what we're trying to do is blend the hillside into our dam rather than blending the dam into the hillside. Make sense? So then we pull it back a little bit further. Same thing. Alright, how's that looking? That doesn't look that bad. I'd like to get this a little bit less over here, so let's just pull it out a little bit further. Just kind of continue softening here. And this isn't 100% unrealistic either, because you would need a sizable, like, buildup to hold the water back from coming, you know, because you wouldn't want your dam to fail the first time it rains, you know what I'm saying? But overall, I think this is actually looking halfway decent. Just do a little bit more of a softening around the edges. Just kind of, just a touch. But as long as we don't have any water sticking out, we're good. And then from there, it's simple. We just come over here, we grab our grass, whoops, wrong button. Grab our grass, and we plant our meadow back where it needs to go. So obviously we're going to go with a bigger grass plot. We're going to use our mouse so that we don't screw ourselves over. And then we're just going to plant the grass back. And you can bring the grass right up to the edge of the water a little bit. Doesn't have to be too crazy. You don't want to hide your mud, but it gives you a difference in texture as well. Grass over top of a darker surface gives you a little bit different texture. Beautiful. And then this just gets the rest of the thing. Now, obviously, putting that grass in probably didn't do anything for us. But before we, I don't know if... Oops, sorry about that. Didn't mean to smack you guys. But I don't know if all of this work is for nothing. Because if I put this thing in... Okay. Actually, I feel like there's a little bit of water sticking out over here. Is there? Maybe not. Maybe it's just a visual artifact that I'm seeing. It is pretty close. But it doesn't look too bad. All right. Now we should be able to come over here, grab our cow pasture. That we want, which is, I think it was this one. Holy lag, man. Alright, let's save. Something... I'm gonna go check on my my workers real quick. I feel like something is killing us. Apparently trying to place that cow pasture while the workers are doing their thing is just a bad juju. Let me see. Alright, this worker's almost done. That's good. And the other worker, if it ever shows me, is actually doing its job? Question mark? Seems to be. Kind of. Alright, well, as long as it's working, that's all that matters. Alright, let's try this again, shall we? Go to construction, grab our cow pasture. Oh yeah, instantly just drops the frames. Not as bad as the first time, but still not great. Alright, so we're going to place this right here, I believe. Honestly, I would love to place this over this direction, but I feel like that's going to mess with our pond. So I think we put it over here. See if we can get this lined up a little bit. Because it is slightly on an angle. I feel like that's pretty good there. And then we want to bring this over just a bit. I feel like that's probably about as good as we're going to get. So we're going to go ahead and place this here. It said that the pasture can be customized. Why didn't it allow me to pasture? Why? It literally said that the pasture could be customized. We're going to delete that, and we're going to try it again. I must have missed an option somewhere. Let me sell this real quick. God, we lose so much money doing this. Oh, man, it said that the pasture could be customized, but it didn't give me the option. Actually, we're just going to reload the save. Let me quit and come back. Alright. Okay, this one says the building can, or the thing can be customized as well. This one actually works. Uh-oh. There we go. Perfect. I think it's going to work. All right. Well, it's not the way we wanted it to go, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers and all that. But it did actually work. Now, before we let the cows come in, I do want to do a little bit of extra work with this. I just want to double check that there is actually a fence line going along this. Okay, there is. It goes all the way down. Perfect. Okay. Just double checking. Alright, so now we can do the rest of our decorating over here. If we go to plants, we should be able to find some of our water plants. So we'll put some of these in here. See, this is why I generally don't show you guys the whole build process, because I tend to get quiet. Because I'm just like trying to think of how I want things to look. So I do apologize if I get too quiet on you guys. There we go. So we got our reeds going around the outside. Now I want to have a little bit of these as well. We can kind of, I don't know, it doesn't really give us, the only place that this really fits would be maybe right over here. It's not perfect. Maybe we'll just bring that in just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, and then it doesn't really fit with any of the other curves. Unfortunately, it's a little too much. All right, put a little bit of water grass in here. All right, just to give it a little bit of extra, I guess, texture. I don't know if that's very good or not. But I think that will lead to the decent result. And then as far as the rest of this goes, I don't know what any of this, because it's just the normal shrubbery and stuff that we see. Don't think we need to do anything too crazy there. I would like to put up a couple of trees maybe. Oh, actually, got some of this. Maybe we can toss some of these in here. Maybe like a little bit of rice in there. Oops. A little bit too much there. Just throw some of that around. Just kind of darkening some areas. Alright, I think that's plenty of extra vegetation there. Just gives it a little bit of extra growth around the pond, like it's been there for a little bit. Obviously, the cows will keep some of that chewed down, so who knows. In real life, there wouldn't probably be a whole lot of vegetation there. The cows would probably just eat it all. That being said, I think we're pretty much good to go. I don't think we need to put any trees in there, just due to the fact that generally cattle are in the open areas. Let's open this up, speaking of which. I know we can get some food delivered over here. We do need to do a little bit of smoothing around this, so let's do that real quick while I'm thinking about it. Just want to come through here and smoothen everything up as best we can. Just give ourselves the best possible chance of having a somewhat decent... Yeah, see how that's kind of dropped down now? Alright, so we want to actually maybe level from here. That's possible? Oh yeah, we can totally do that. What if we bring this a little bit? There we go. Remember, like I said, you want to soften everything. You kind of want to come out a little bit further than you think. Alright. And then we can soften this edge so it's not looking too harsh. Alright. Doesn't look too bad. Might be a little bit of a bump there. Would like to bring that up a little bit, actually. I mean, just try to see if we can't bump it up just a touch. If that's just a touch, I don't know what to say, Spartan. Alright, now let's see if we can soften. Alright, how's that look? I think that's going to be okay. Alright, let's put that little bit of grass back in. There we go. I think we're good to go. Although I will probably go ahead and bring over a little bit of the mud, which I think is the animal mud. Which should be a base game texture. Am I missing something? Maybe it's mud light. Okay. Must be mud light. Alright. Let's bring this over here. Give ourselves plenty of room to come in and out of here. Again, it's our property, so we can do pretty much what we want with it. So I'm thinking we pull this out like that. Just kind of gives us a much better area. And then over here, maybe not quite as crazy, but something like that. Perfect. All right. So that gives us plenty of room to go in and out of everywhere we need to go on this thing. So that should be great. Now we're going to need to deliver some food up here before we bring the animals in. How many can this hold, by the way? I didn't look. It can hold 931 animals. That's crazy, actually. I don't know how much food it's going to hold, but it can hold 931 animals. That's a lot of cows. All right, well, I guess let's go jump in the Kubota, head home, grab a tractor, grab a trailer, grab some TMR, bring the TMR up. Why am I walking when I can teleport? All right, let's head over. We'll grab a tractor. But I think this is going to look really, really nice when we get some cows in here. We do only have $95,000 in the bank currently, so we spent the budget. It's a shame that we couldn't use the one that we wanted, but is what it is. Can't complain too much. We did eventually get it in, and I like the way that pond looks. It's clearly man-made, but it does fit like it's been there for a while, so I think we did okay with it. But we will go ahead and drive our Kubota through the little pathway here. That'll give us a chance to look at our field where our worker is working on the wheat. Okay, he's still not done yet. Again, I have no idea how well he's going to do. When he does the headlands, we'll find out, I guess. And it looks like he should be on the headlands right now. Remember, we did 2 headlands passes. Okay, he is actually on the headlands. I see him over there now. Beautiful. I wasn't sure if that would work with an AI worker, but it seems to be doing okay. All right. Let's get this back up to the house, then we'll come down here and grab... Actually, why drive it up to the house when we can drive it over here, grab our tractor, grab a trailer. And grab the New Holland. Just got to thinking, this trailer is officially going to be stolen for TMR from now on. Oh, we're going to need straw, too. We're going to have to make multiple trips. I'm going to need a second one of these. Man, we are just... Alright. Let me think. You know what? Let's get this one filling up with TMR. We'll take all the TMR we currently have, put it in this trailer. It's going to take time to fill up anyway. Then we'll have to go buy 2 more of these trailers. One will be for grass when we harvest it next month. The other one is going to be a straw trailer. So we'll go ahead and get that filling up. And we'll have to buy 2 more of those. Alright, so both of them will be the biggest ones. One is going to be for straw, the other is going to be for grass, so it doesn't really matter. 20,000 a piece, it's not too bad. Alright. Now, rather than drive this thing all the way across the map, I'm just gonna reset it, and then we'll go pick it up. Just save ourselves a couple of minutes of driving. You guys have seen me drive that a million times. So I don't think it'll be too big of a deal. Dadgummit. There we go. Now we'll get these back over to the house. One of them will be for straw, the other one will be for our forage harvester when it harvests grass. I love these trailers. A, because they hold a bunch. B, because they link together like this, so you can transport a lot. A lot. And when you're used to driving around a tractor that's capable of doing over 100 miles an hour, a tractor that only does 31 seems to be real slow. The good news is it at least seems like our worker was able to get the wheat planted. I was worried about I knew the Kinsey would be fine, but I was worried about that gigantic seed drill with an AI worker, whether or not it would be able to make it work. But it seems to have done okay. We'll check the field once he's done. And then we got to check on all of our animals too. But the goal is to have Highland cattle. I've never done Highland cattle at all. So I'm probably going to get Highland cattle and then beef cows. I'm not getting dairy cows. We already did that. So I'm thinking we get some Angus, some Limousine or whatever they're called. And then some Highland cows. Alright, so we'll leave one here. Then we'll take this one up here and we'll fill it with straw. I don't know how many cows we're going to be able to buy with only $55,000 in the bank, but we'll see what we can do. Alright, set that there for the time being. Hook up to this TMR trailer. Alright, 1.4 million should be plenty for the time being. Then we'll get some straw put into the second trailer. You telling me we're not close enough to it? Oops. Turn the other way. There we go. Start filling. And we want straw. Now again, we shouldn't need to put a ton of straw in here, but if we can get 1 million liters of straw, that'll be great. And then we'll just leave these up there until we need them again. While we're waiting for the straw to fill up, we can come over here and check on our goats. We are unfortunately full in our trailer. I say unfortunately, it's a good thing that we're full. But it just means I got to move all this stuff by hand for the foreseeable future. I think we sell them in, was it October? I'll have to re-look at our thing. Alright. You guys have been asking for a little bit longer episodes, and I've been still giving you a bunch of time lapses. So today, this one has been very much a wow. What was up with that? Time lapse free sort of episode where you guys get to see a little bit of the nitty gritty that goes on behind the scenes. You guys will have to let me know if you guys prefer it this way or not. You guys know that I'm always looking for feedback when it comes to our series, because at the end of the day, if you guys aren't interested in watching, then it doesn't really do me any good. Alright. That is taken care of. Let's run down and check out our pigs real quick. Hey, we do have piggies. Hey, little piglets. Oh, they're so cute. Okay, so we do have baby pigs. That's good. Like, it said that they were here, but they weren't showing up the last time we looked. But I'm glad to see we got some baby piglets running around, looking adorable. They got plenty of food for the time being. They've got straw, they've got manure, or, yeah, they've got food, they've got straw, so they're good. We don't need to worry about them. The only other one we need to worry about is our chickens and, of course, Shadow. So we'll run back up there. Actually, we'll just teleport. Teleport up to the chickens. How's our chickens doing? We currently have 11,350. Yeah, these guys are only producing like a pallet a month. It's not great, if I'm being honest. They still have 6,000 liters of food though, so they're at least not eating a lot. So there's that. Where's Shadow at? Shadow! Here, boy! I don't see him. We'll feed him and see if he comes running. There he is! He's out here playing in the grass, as usual. Is he going to do his teleporty thing? Wait for it. Yep. Oh, he's swimming. Look how cute he is. Good boy, Shadow. Love you, buddy. Now you're all wet. Alright, well, that is done. Oh, I almost forgot what we were doing. I gotta go back down here. We should have plenty of straw now. We'll take that up there, and then we'll buy some cows. Like I said, I don't know how many we're going to be able to buy, because I don't remember what the price of cows are. I know they're expensive. So we're probably not going to be able to buy a ton to start with. Alright, we got over 1 million liters of straw, and over 1 million liters of TMR. So we should be good. We'll take this up to the top. If this tractor can pull this much up the hill, I hope it can. Ooh, downshift. Boy, you waited a while to downshift, didn't you there, New Holland? Alright. Got our food wagon on the way. Food and bedding. What more could a cow ask for? Now, it will take a long time to grow up to the full size of the herd. But I'm hoping by starting out with a couple of different breeds of cows that it won't take as long. Looks like he's almost done. Maybe a couple of little missed spots here and there, but it won't be a deal breaker. Glad to know that they can use that planter or that seed drill. Speaking of which, there he is. Crawling up the hill. Beautiful. How cool is our little area back here, though? Just having a driveway that goes all the way across to the rest of our property. I love it. I've said this a million times. I feel like I repeat the same things all the time, but still. I love the way our farm has developed. Like, for real. We started with basically nothing. We had a cabin, a little tractor, a little mower, and we turned that into an absolute farming empire. And we're not done yet. We still got a long ways to go. But look at our beautiful. We got that pond right there. And like I said, it's clearly man-made, but it fits with the way I see them in real life. You know what I mean? If you've ever seen a man-made pond in like a cow pasture on the side of a hill, it looks just like that. It really does. So I love that. All right, so I don't know exactly. Okay, it looks like the milk comes out there if we get any milk. We put the animals in there. Obviously, the TMR is going to go through here. I'm probably going to circle back because I know that the straw is in the back part. And we put the straw somewhere? Where is the straw? Like, I know this is where we get slurry out. Oh, I bet the straw goes in here. Yep, I bet this is where you put the straw. Alright, let's see if we can, drop the rear. We'll circle back around. Offload. Okay, so we want this set to instantly unload. And then we can disconnect from it. And now we'll back this straw up to this door here. Beautiful. What'd I tell you? Alright, apparently that gate doesn't actually exist, but that's fine. We'll go ahead and set this to also instantly unload. Beautiful. And then we'll let it sit there. Perfect. Well, now we just got to get some cows. They've got food. They've got bedding. It doesn't hold a lot of either. But that's why we have these trailers. These trailers can automatically unload as they need. So that's good. But we need to buy some cows. Obviously, we're not going for the dairy production. We're looking for Black Angus cows. Let's see. I feel like these guys would be the ones that we go for because they are cheaper by a significant margin. So if we grab some 6-month-old Angus cows, that is way more money than we have available. Let's go for 20 Angus. Okay. 20 of the limousine. Or limousine. I don't know how you would pronounce that. I'm calling them limousines. But 20 of those. And then, of course, we want 20 Highland cattle. I've done water buffalo. They're cool. But we want the actual Highland cattle here. And I know buffalo milk is worth a fortune as well. And who knows, maybe when we get a little bit more money we can do that. But we're going to throw 20 of these guys in here as well. And now, wait, what do you mean I'm broke? Am I crazy? I thought it was $20,800, $20,800. We had over $60,000, didn't we? Oh, you know what we forgot? We forgot to pay ourselves in the last episode for the trees that we took out. Remember the 2,500? That 2,500 is going to come in real handy. So we need 20,800. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. So again, this is the 2,500 that we were promised by the county for taking down those 5 trees that were blocking the road. So We're going to go ahead and grab that. That just so happens to give us just enough. Man, it's almost like I planned this, but I swear to God I didn't. I swear, it's all natural, baby. Whoa, 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 whoa. We can barely afford 20. There we go. And now we are officially broke. Broke. All right, let's see where our cows are hiding. I don't see any cows. Any cows in here? No? Says there's 60 cows in this field. Where are they? Oh, they're floating. We got flying cows. Somebody call Helen Hunt. Cow! Another cow. I think that was the same one. Oh, look at you. I love animals in this game. I don't spend enough time with the animals because I have so much work to do. But they're so cute, man. Oh, look at the Highland cow. Look at the sight. Look at the little guy jumping around. But look at the size of this feller. Boy, you're going to be a beefcake. Literally. And you're so derpy looking. Such a cutie. Oh, I wish you could pet him. All right, where's our Angus cows? Are they all sitting by themselves? Like, what's going on here? It is a big pasture, so these guys are absolutely... Look at them loving life. Look at the freaking muscles on this thing. Are Highland cows this big and massive in real life? Because if you look at the size compared to everybody else, like, these things are massive. Where's my Angus cows? Oh, I seen Angus. I see him over here. He's hiding. They're on the other side. Did I walk past all the Angus and not realize it? Because they were like shadowed. Look at the guys running from the pond. Did you have a good drink, buddy? Did you have a good drink? Look at you go. Oh, they're so happy. We have the happiest cows. Look at this black Angus, man. Absolute behemoth. Big, strong, beefy cow right there. But man, I can't get over the size of those Highland cows, man. Those things are massive. I've actually never seen a Highland cow in real life, so I have no idea. Are they this big in real life? Like, obviously these are juveniles, so they're going to get a lot bigger. But if this is any indication, these things are going to be Herculean. They're going to be massive, man. Look at the freaking forearms on that thing. Or I guess it'd be a quad. Look at the quads. They don't have arms. Is anybody playing with the... we already saw one run down from the pond. So we'll see if anybody else is in the pond. Anybody up here? Also, I'm not hearing any of the frogs or anything. I may have put down the wrong ones. I may have put down the muted plants. Which is fine. I don't mind. We don't need to hear frogs every time we come around here. Man, this turned out really well. I love it. I love it. And I think this is where we're going to end off the episode. Look at them go, man. Oh, I love this so much. We did it, guys. We've done the thing. Don't mind the flying cow over there. I'm sure it's fine. Thought those were more cows flying over. Those are geese. They're supposed to be flying. Oh, but man, look at them enjoying our nice pasture. Oh, I love it so much. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope the wait was worth it. I think we did a good job here. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.